FLW Tour regular season is down to one event. One last opportunity to shore up Angler of the Year. One last opportunity to earn a slot in the $1.5 million FLW Tour Championship. All with $1 million on the line in this prestigious Forest Wood Open. The season is down to this one important weekend in Florence, Alabama, starting right now on FLW Outdoors.
Welcome to Florence, Alabama. This is the 2003 Forest Wood Open, and I am Carlton Wing.
I'm Taylor Carr.
And I'm Charlie Evans. This event presented by Kellogg's. The Walmart FLW Tour stands for Forrest L. Wood, the founder of Ranger Boat Company, and also the namesake for this tournament, the Forest Wood Open here.
And Forrest almost always makes it to these events. However, Forrest was involved in a small mishap on his farm. He's recuperating. He's going to be fine. We sure do wish he was here. We know he's watching on TV right now.
The sport of fishing wouldn't be the same. Fishing wouldn't be the same were it not for Forrest Wood. Get well, Forrest, and we mean it.
Absolutely. We miss him being here. We want him back.
All right, and the Forest Wood Open is very significant this year. It's the final event of the 6-event regular season on the FLW Tour. These 10 finalists earned some prestigious points, and they also took a major step towards a $200,000 first place prize, which will be awarded this afternoon.
Absolutely. A lot of money at stake right here. And again, making it to the road to Richmond, Virginia for a shot at $500,000 is important too.
$500,000 on the line in Richmond. That's a big show, September 10th through 13th. Make plans to be there. $500,000 to the winner, $1.5 million overall in Richmond in September.
All right, for these 10 finalists, getting to this stage took a big deal, didn't it, Taylor?
It started with 175 of the world's best anglers. It's down to these 10 anglers on stage. Of course, the first 2 days are critical. Here's a look back at days 1 and 2 on Lake Wheeler.
Forest Wood Open. Lake Wheeler. $200,000. Lake Wheeler. Day 1.
It's a career maker, really. I won the Forest Wood Open in '97. First time they ever had $200,000 first prize, and that's been the wind in my sail ever since.
Beyond the money, the Forest Wood Open on Lake Wheeler is a huge deal. The Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year title is on the line. Evinrude Pro Dan Moorhead holding a 26-point advantage over Castrol Pro David Dudley, and two-time winner Clark Wendlandt not far back. Wheeler's also the last event to qualify for the prestigious Jacobs Cup. Only the top 48 go, and anglers like David Walker, Kevin Van Dam, and Lake Murray winner Chris Elliott are right on the cut line. First, Angler of the Year. Leader Dan Moorhead has an early takeoff, and within minutes is fishing First Creek within sight of the launch. Throwing a 9-inch plum-colored worm he calls a Kentucky Lake Special, Moorhead has his limit in 37 minutes and appears to be in good position to nail down Angler of the Year. As expected, the Decatur Flats is a popular place. It's where Ranger Pro Rob Kilby caught a 3-pounder on his way to a limit and 40th place at the end of day 1. But weighing a limit wasn't the problem on day 1. 142 pros had 5 fish, and that's a record for 2003. Quality fish was the difference maker. Just ask local favorite Timmy Horton.
There's a lot of people catching a lot of 2.5 pounders, but catching a 4.5 to 5 pound fish really is what's putting you up over that 15-pound range. So I was fortunate to get that today.
Horton's 17 pounds puts him in 5th place after the first day. Californian Aaron Martins has an even better day. Fishing a Konami Flash, he has 18-11 and 2nd place.
I would have been happy at 13 or 14 pounds, going into this tournament, and go out there and get 18-11 was a very good day.
Nobody caught him better on day 1 than Chevy Pro Tommy Biffle, who usually fishes shallow.
I couldn't catch any real big fish shallow, and I had one good day. I had over about 25 pounds out deep, so that really was key.
The Angler of the Year race got real interesting. Moorhead failed to add much to his limit and weighed 814, only good for 106th place.
Well, as soon as I got to dock, first person I think that walked by said, Moorhead at 814, so that made me feel a little bit better.
Dudley's relief comes from learning he's still in the game. Trying for a big bite, he only manages 5 small fish, but the tightly bunched standings tell him he can still catch Moorhead if he has a big day 2.
Lake Wheeler, day 2.
The day started with breakfast on the water for Japan's Masaki Shimano, who stands in 4th place and understands a win here is worth 23.6 million yen back home. Fishing on Wheeler is almost as good as day one. In fact, for the first time in almost 2 seasons, all 175 anglers weigh a fish. David Dudley keeps the drama alive in the Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year race. His 11 pounds means leader Dan Moorhead needs at least 8 pounds to claim the title. Moorhead and his fan club wait at the dock. He's in the last group to weigh in.
It was a trying day. It was a long day, but I think I accomplished what I needed to do.
Dudley had about 11 pounds today.
I think I got him.
Moorhead's confidence is well-founded and gives him the satisfaction of a memorable walk to the weigh-in tent, like a golfer strolling up 18 needing only a 3-putt to win.
Well, God blessed me yesterday. David and Clark, you know, they were like me. They both stumped their toes a little bit, and so I figured if I caught 10 pounds a day, I'd have a good shot at it.
11 pounds, 10 ounces, 20 pounds, 8 ounces for Dan Moore. We'll have to wait and see whether that's enough or not.
And that was more than enough. A stronger second day gives Moorhead 68th place and makes him Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year. Now back to the Forest Wood Open and the impressive Tommy Biffle. 19 more pounds on day 2 leads qualifying by almost 7 pounds. Joining Biffle in the finals, Timmy Horton, Dion Hibden, and Kevin Van Dam. You'll meet the rest of the field in a few moments. From the agony of defeat department, rookie Jeremiah Kindy hung on to 10th place for what seemed like forever, only to get bumped to 11th and out of the finals by a single ounce. Snickers Big Bass honors go to Joel Richardson with 6'9" on day 1 and Alvin Shaw with 5'8" on day 2. When we come back, the 10 Forest Wood Open finalists.
Forrest, you've always been one of my heroes, and looking forward to seeing you and get well. And you know, we'll see you here in a few months. I mean, you're too tough to be down too long.
You know, nothing but the best wishes for you. Hope you feel better, and like I say, just take it easy a little bit. Let somebody else do that work for you.
Forrest, you get well, and we'll fish hard for you today and say a prayer for you.
Forrest, come back. We know you can do it. Hang in there, and you'll be catching another 7-pounder here pretty soon.
Here's this week's Field and Stream trivia question. What's the largest bass ever caught in the state of Alabama? Was it 22 pounds 3 ounces, 16.5 pounds, 15 pounds, 14 pounds 15 ounces, or 14 pounds 2 ounces? Here's this week's Field and Stream trivia answer. The biggest bass on record in Alabama, 16 pounds 8 ounces, caught on Mountain View Lake by Mountain Tom Bergen in November of 1987.
We have a new leader. He lands another one, another monster keeper. Your Walmart Open champion. And he still has been away.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2003 Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, Dan Moorhead. Dan, it has been a thrill ride all season long. We have had so much fun covering this incredible season for you, and Charlie's got some more comments.
Absolutely. Started out the year like a house of fire. 3 out of 4 top 10s making the cut, including a championship $200,000 win at the Beaver Lake on the Walmart Open. You got a great start.
I tell you what, it has been a great year. You know, I fished less tournaments this year than I ever had in my career, but it's been the longest season I've ever fished. I'm glad it's over.
One more event left for the FLW Tour and $500,000 at stake. What about 2 in a row here?
Well, I would love it. You know, that's all of our dream. I've been thinking about that tournament for 3 months now, and I will definitely put in a lot of times. I'm sure the rest of the guys will, and I'll be prepared. I'll be ready.
He definitely will. Our Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, absolutely.
All right, and Dan, I know you stated this was your goal at the beginning of the season. Here is your crowning achievement from Land O'Lakes. Here is Hal Hamblin with a very special trophy presentation.
Dan, you and your family epitomize the family and fishing values of the FLW Tour. Since we've been a sponsor, Land O'Lakes has been proud of all the fishing, of all the anglers, and most especially proud of our partnership with Walmart and the FLW Tour. So, congratulations, Dan.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a professional fisherman you can be very proud of. Dan Moorhead, your Angler of the Year. What a thrill ride it has been. Congratulations one more time, and we will see you in Richmond, Virginia as you go for the Jacobs Cup. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now let's shift over and talk about this tournament and these 10 finalists that earned their way to this stage. We started off with a full field of 175 professionals. These 10 made the cut. We call it the Poland cut, and let's meet our finalists right now. Our first finalist hails from one of the first families of fishing. He won the FLW Tour Championship in 2000 and is in his 6th FLW Top 10. His total weight of 30.5 pounds in the qualifying round was 3rd best of the field. Currently in 10th place from Stover, Missouri, Dion Hibden. Our next finalist dominated the first 2 days of this tournament with the best weights of day 1 and day 2. This is his 9th FLW Top 10. He's already won 1 FLW tournament and he's looking for another. Currently in 9th place from Wagner, Oklahoma, Tommy Biffle. Our next finalist got off to a strong start with a day 1 catch of nearly 16.5 pounds. This is his 2nd FLW Top 10, though Alabama was very good to him last year in Mobile at the M1, where he finished 8th. Currently in 8th place from Williamsburg, Ohio, Dale Teeney. Our next finalist worked his way up the BFL and Everstart series in his 2nd FLW Top 10 of the year after a 2nd place finish in the Louisiana's Atchafalaya Basin. His day 1 weight, just under 16 pounds, was 7th best of the field. Currently in 7th place from Salt Rock, West Virginia, Bill Chapman. Our next finalist was a finalist at last year's FLW event on Lake Wheeler. Though the conditions are different, his success is the same. After day 1, he was in 30th place, but worked his way into the final round with a solid day 2. Currently in 6th place from Conway, Arkansas, Keith Williams. Our next finalist is a longtime veteran of the BFL. He utilized consistent stringers of 15 even and 14 pounds 6 ounces to earn his first ever trip to an FLW Top 10. Currently in 5th place, just 5 pounds 3 ounces off the lead from Summerville, South Carolina, Chad Cook. Our next finalist is one of the dominating figures in professional fishing today. He's a former Angler of the Year and regularly rewrites the record book. At every FLW event he fishes, he makes the top 10 an astonishing rate of nearly 40%. He's back again and currently in 4th place, just 4 pounds 12 ounces off the lead from Kalamazoo, Michigan, Kevin Van Dam. Our next finalist was another who made the cut at last year's FLW event on Lake Wheeler. He's a former co-angler of the year whose transition to the pro side features the honor as the youngest ever FLW tournament winner. He's looking to add number 2 today. Currently in 3rd place, just over 4.5 pounds off the lead from Clewiston, Florida, Scott Martin. Our next finalist turned in the 2nd best weight of day 1. He took 2nd place at last year's event and is currently in 2nd place this year, thanks to a 13-pound 4-ounce catch on day 3. Fishing in his 5th FLW Top 10 from Castaic, California, Aaron Martins. Our final finalist knows this waterway well and proved it this week with consistent stringers, ranking 2nd best in the qualifying round. This is his first ever FLW Top 10. Currently in 1st place with a total weight of 15 pounds, 13 ounces, your leader from Muscle Shoals, Alabama, Tim Horton. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your 10 finalists for the 2003 Forest Wood Open. And when we come back on FLW Outdoors, we will see how these anglers got to where they are and how they made the big stage today. It's coming up next on FLW Outdoors.
FLW Outdoors.
Lake Wheeler, Day 3.
Welcome back to FLW Outdoors and Day 3 of the Forest Wood Open. $200,000 on the line for the winner, and the hottest angler of this tournament by far has been Oklahoma's Tommy Biffle, the leader after Day 1, the leader after Day 2, and as you can see, he's got a lot of company here on Day 3. A lot of spectator boats all around Tommy today, including our own Taylor Carr, who's in the middle of the pack.
Tommy, who are all your newfound friends?
I hope they're a bunch of spectators that are big fans. I hope they're not practicing for the tournament.
And they haven't bothered you, have they?
No, they've been great. They're sitting out there watching, and you know, they're just curious to see how we're catching them. But so far, they're not biting, so we hadn't really showed them much yet.
You have had the 2 top stringers in this tournament, Tommy. How have you done it? I gather not your typical shallow water style.
No, I've been fishing deep. You know what a lot of people think when I catch them, I'm catching them flipping or fishing shallow, and you know, that's not the case. I came to this tournament planning to win it, and I couldn't get a real good big bite flipping, so I came out on the river channel, and one day I had 22 pounds, and another day I could have caught them good, and those 2 places I hadn't fished yet, so.
It seemed like you had real good mental focus for this event.
I do. You know, one neat thing that would mean a lot to me. Oh, getting it. Well, that wasn't really worth it. Breaking my rod over.
We were just talking about focus. That was a great example. I mean, you were right about the business.
You know, one thing you want to do if you ever have a rod break is have you a couple spares ready, so you can just throw it in a box and pick up another one and maybe not lose too much time. But main thing is, don't let that line get in that broke part of the tip of that rod, and it'll cut your line every now and then. So you just kind of want to watch and reel like crazy trying to get him in.
Over to Aaron Martins, who already has 3 keepers, all on a Walmart available Konami Flash, very similar to the popular Senko. Aaron is Texas rigging his Konami and fishing it in current not far from the main river channel. That's number 4 and gives Martins 5 pounds at 8:31. A few minutes later, Martin switches to a flat build crankbait and has number 5. He goes back to the Konami for fish 6. It only weighs about 1.5 pounds, but it puts Aaron where he wants to be. It's 8:44 and Aaron Martins is the first angler culling.
I'm not gonna get all excited for this fish, but not at all. I need some bigger ones. This fish don't excite me at all. Not after catching for it. I'm a fisherman. I like catching big ones, yeah.
Meanwhile, rookie Chad Cook is on the Decatur Flats, and he's being very patient. And he's about to land his 4th fish for an 8-pound total and a hold on 2nd place. Not far away, Kevin Van Dam's fishing a worm. With catches only minutes apart, he's got 4 fish and 5.5 pounds. And at 10 o'clock, he's on the leaderboard. It's Martins, Cook, and Van Dam.
It's already been a great tournament for Keith Williams, who earned a slot in another top 10 with $200,000 on the line. But with his strong showing here at Lake Wheeler, he's now in the field for the FLW Tour Championship, where they'll fish for $500,000 in first place.
Yeah, that's right. And the James River, I love to fish rivers, and I just can't wait to get up there and try just to have a shot at $500,000. I'm going to be really going after it too. I just can't wait.
Now, we're in the Decatur Flats, and over 100 boats were in here during the qualifying round, but you've got it a little more to yourself today.
Well, actually, my dad helped me. He found this spot in practice. He told me where to go, where it was, and I came through here in practice, got 4 or 5 bites. And this is the only really place I had out here that I caught any fish consistently. So instead of having 100 spots out here to run around on, I only had this one area. It's about I guess this big area, about a 30-acre area right here. And I just put my trolling motor down both days and fished right here.
Williams' time is coming, but now the action's on the Stanley boat, where co-angler Masafumi Kato of Japan has his fourth keeper. He's on his way to winning the $40,000 first prize on the co-angler side. And in the front of the boat, Scott Martin is mixing it up. Also fishing the Decatur Flats, Martin Carolina rigs to catch his second fish, and then crankbaits to get his third. Within a 35-minute span, Martin has a limit and becomes our new leader. It's getting interesting and windy on Lake Wheeler. At 11 a.m., Scott Martin leads, then Aaron Martins and Kevin Van Dam. Welcome back to Walmart FLW Outdoors and Day 3 coverage of the Forest Wood Open from Lake Wheeler in Alabama. As you've seen, the wind on the Decatur Flats is kicking up. We've come to a backwater slough and it's still pretty bouncy in here. Clearly the wind and the waves would be a factor the rest of the day. Dion Hibden's fishing the flats, mostly with a black and blue jig, and he needs to get it going. Dion's been stuck on 4.5 pounds for almost 2 hours. Bill Chapman found shelter from the wind, but he's not finding many fish. Fishing a blue jig with a Zoom trailer, he's got 3 pounds and stands in 9th place. Dale Teeney's in calmer water too, but his second keeper only gives him 2.5 pounds, and that trails the field. Aaron Martins still leads. He's fishing as far upriver as anyone, and he's been culling for almost 3 hours. And Martins is mixing it up too, working the grass first with a buzz bait, then a spinnerbait. And that's what's tied on when he hooks his 9th keeper. It's another 2-pounder, upping his total weight to 13 pounds and expanding his lead.
God, I saw him eat that. But look at that, trailer hooking off. That hard hook sitting and everything. That's a 2-pounder. You gotta stock that fish. That's the way a bass is supposed to look right there.
Oh, what a big fish. Oh my goodness. We're about to hear from local favorite Timmy Horton of Muscle Shoals. Horton's fourth fish is a 3.5-pounder that comes on a booyah jig and puts him at the 10-pound mark.
All right, Alex. That'll work right there. That will work.
Horton's not done. 10 minutes later, he's connected again, and his reaction tells the whole story.
Oh, where's the giant? Oh my goodness, I bet you it's a big smallmouth. Oh, look at this. Big old largemouth. Oh, goodness. Boy, I won't throw you in the boat. I won't throw you in the water. You do that again, big boy. Give me some on that, Alex. Woo! All right. Oh, I switched over to this booyah jig, and look at that. This water, we got some wind and a little bit more stain here. And Alex and I switched over to this jig, and I think it's starting to pay off for us. Number 5. All right.
Your new leader is the smiling man with the little boy's name, Timmy Horton, followed by Aaron Martins and Scott Martin. Over to Martin now. The Stanley Pro's been fishing Decatur Flats all day, but he hasn't had a keeper in 2 hours.
The Decatur Flats was a very popular area during the first 2 days of this tournament. As many as 100 boats were in this area. What is it that you did that stood out to be able to get you into the final round?
Well, in practice, I would locate fish on a rattle trap, and then I'd go back in during the tournament and actually catch the bigger fish on a jig. Using GPS, I use a Garmin GPS, and I was really fine-tuning my waypoints and getting lined up, and really, these fish gather up in holes in the grass, and if you can really fine-tune and find where they are and take a jig or a Senko, you can seem to catch a little bit bigger fish that way.
Martin doesn't know it, but he's caught his last fish of day 3, and so has Aaron Martins. After a blazing start, his bite is cooling off. But Timmy Horton adds to his lead, and when he catches a 2.5-pounder at 3:30, it bumps him to 15 pounds 13 ounces and tightens his lock on first place. At the end of day 3, it's Horton, Martins, and Martin. Up next, we'll see if the hometown hero can hold his lead.
Welcome back to Florence, Alabama. Our finalists competed yesterday, and here are our leaders, and here are our followers. Tim Horton is out in front, 15 pounds, 13 ounces. just behind Aaron Martins, Scott Martin, Kevin Van Dam, and Chad Cook. That's your top 5 as the standings read right now. Then it's Keith Williams, Bill Chapman, Dale Teeny, Tommy Biffle, and Dion Hibden. A lot of our anglers traveled a long way to be here, and some of their families did as well. Taylor Carr is out in the audience with someone right now.
Well, Carlton, 3 of the anglers on stage have fathers who are also pro fishermen: Scott Martin, Keith Williams, and Dion Hibden. Dion's dad, Guido, joins us. His mom, Stella. Guido, is it tough for Dion? Has it been tough to follow in your footsteps?
It might have been at one point in time, but I think he's filling them shoes pretty good now. It's one thing for a pair of buddies to work together, but it's something else for father and son. You know, if there's some way to be closer, I don't know how it would be.
Stella Hibden, is it tougher being the mother of a professional angler or the wife of one?
Probably the mother. You know, you always want more for your kids than you do for yourself, so I'd say being the mother probably.
Well, for 20 years, she's been Guido's wife. Now she's Dion's mom. The Hibden family, everybody.
One of the great families in professional fishing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a leader. His name is Tim Horton, and we have 9 followers. What's going to happen now is our shootout style weigh-in. Each angler will bring up their fish, and they need to bring up enough to be able to take the lead, or they are out of the game. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have met the anglers. Now let... Here comes Dion Hibden, our first angler who weighed in 6 pounds and 10 ounces yesterday.
Needing to make up big ground, Dion swung for the fences on day 4. He never caught the big one that would have put him back in contention, but he did put on a good show during our on-the-water interview.
This is the Decatur Flats area where most of our finalists have been fishing all week long. Dion Hibden took off in boat number 10 today, about 9 pounds off the lead. Does that alter your strategy? You going to swing for the fences today?
Well, I'm gonna fish with the only bait I've caught any big ones on and stick with it all day. Yeah, I don't know what really has changed, but I'm gonna throw a jig all day and keep after them. First day that we fished out here, Dad brought me out here because he'd been out here a couple, 3 days, and he probably outfished me 10 to 1 that day, you know. And about 10 o'clock in the morning, he said, "Hey, you ain't watching, stupid," you know. He said, "You're not paying attention." And when I got to moving my jig around and jerking it around a little bit more, I immediately started getting bites. I've been fortunate. I grew up and had the best guide in the world taking me all over the country fishing. And here's no different. You know, he came out here and it took him about 2 days to figure out exactly what it took to key those fish into biting. Well, I showed up after an Everstart up in Minnesota with only about 5 days to practice, and there was no guesswork for me. When I got here, he said, "This is what you do," you know, and I came out here and I did it. And like I said, it's one of those deals that we fish as much alike as any 2 people can. There we go. You guys got to witness the first one.
Tommy Biffle followed Hibden. The leader heading into the final round ran out of fish and settled for a 10th place finish. This tournament, Tommy was gunning for Angler of the Year, Ranger Cup champion, and of course the $200,000 first place prize. With so much on the line, Tommy put it all on the line. Unfortunately for Biffle, in the final round, not as much bit back on that line. On Saturday, he caught just 4 keepers. His last came at 1:48, just 2 minutes before it was time to check in.
That's a last-minute fish right there.
It also came within yards of all the other anglers loading up at the ramp. Ohio's Dale Teeny made it 3 anglers up and 3 anglers down. Teeny's 2-day total of 15.5 pounds was good enough for 8th place. Dale Teeny was enduring a tough morning until 10:30 when on back-to-back casts he landed 2 keepers. And just like that, Teeny, using a watermelon red worm on timber, was back in the game. He'd finished with a 5-fish limit at just over 8.5 pounds. West Virginia's Bill Chapman took the lead, weighing in all 5 of his fish for 11 pounds 9 ounces. But the lead wouldn't last long. Keith Williams stepped up with 4 solid keepers that took the lead and eliminated Chapman, who finished in 6th place. After a 7-pound day 3, Chapman needed his shallow water areas to produce, and they did. Chapman had a limit by 7:10. Keith Williams was the only other angler to catch a faster limit. Alternating between a spinnerbait and a jig, Chapman caught 13 keepers. While the big bite eluded him, Chapman's day 4 weight of 11 pounds 9 ounces helped Bill earn a $24,000 check.
I got lucky right there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 4 anglers have weighed out. Chad Cook is on deck, and we will see his fish when we come back on FLW Outdoors. To Florence, Alabama, everybody. This is the 2003 Forest Wood Open, and we have a new leader. Keith Williams is out in front right now with a total weight of 20 pounds and 15 ounces. Bill Chapman, who has weighed out, is currently in second place. Timmy Horton, who we have yet to see, is in third place, still with fish to weigh. Dale Teeney has weighed out. He's in fourth place, followed by Dion Hibden, who's in fifth. Sixth place is Aaron Martins coming up shortly. Then it's Tommy Biffle, Scott Martin, Kevin Van Dam, and Chad Cook. Now, a little while ago, we talked about some families who had to travel a long way to be here. Taylor Carr's out with a family who didn't have to travel very far at all, and they're surrounded by some supporters.
Oh, yeah, Carlton. This is Timmy Horton's wife, Melanie. Melanie, I think there are a lot of Timmy Horton fans in this crowd today.
For sure.
There you go. Does fishing on a lake he knows so well, like Lake Wheeler, help Timmy?
I think it does in some ways, but in other ways, it's hard for him because he knows so much about it. It's hard for him to focus on a certain area. He spends a lot of time running around looking, so.
Most everybody calls him Timmy. What do you call him?
I call him Tim. I think Timmy sounds like a child, so.
Well, that child could win $200,000 today. Melanie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Melanie Horton.
He's fishing like a man this week, I tell you what.
South Carolina's Chad Cook hit the weigh-in stage for the first time Saturday and brought up his only 2 fish of the day. Good for just under 5 pounds and a 7th place finish. Cook found his fish with a green pumpkin crawworm fishing shallow, 2 to 3 feet deep. His first appearance in an FLW Top 10 ended with an impressive 7th place and a check for $23,000. Kevin Van Dam took the lead with 4 of his 5 fish, raising the bar high enough to eliminate Scott Martin, whose great run ended in 5th place, good for $30,000. Scott Martin entered day 4 in 3rd place, but the big fish missed the Stanley Pro until one heartstopper just after 10:30. A 3-pound smallmouth leapt from the water, and so began a nerve-wracking tussle that took well over a minute before Martin successfully landed his largest fish of the day.
Oh man, that was nerve-wracking. Oh, I've had such bad fortune today with these good fish getting off. I'm shaking, look at that. Golly.
On the weigh-in stage, it was now time to play Can You Top This? Aaron Martins took the lead. Then Tim Horton. Keith Williams followed with his 5th fish, good for another lead, and that was too much for Van Dam.
One of the toughest parts about covering Kevin Van Dam is coming up with new ways to describe how good he is. We've got a new stat for you. Kevin, do you realize that you make a top 10 in nearly 40% of the tournaments you fish?
That's a pretty good average.
That's an amazing average. That also represents a variety of bodies of water. To what do you attribute your versatility?
Well, where I grew up in Michigan, we've got a real diverse fishery up there. I mean, there's shallow rivers with grass and stick-ups and stumps and things like that, and everything in between to the real deep, clear lakes, and with both species of, largemouths and smallmouths both. And I got a lot of experience fishing for other species, trout and walleye and pike and muskie, and I learned a lot of things from fishing those, especially like trout fishing, that I can apply. Like here, everything I'm fishing is really keyed on the current. And I learned about current and how fish relate to it from trout fishing back in Michigan. So I was real fortunate to come from an area with not only a diverse fishery, but a lot of fish.
How deep is your crankbait running?
This crankbait right here is a Series 5 Strike King, and it runs about 10 foot on 10-pound line. But what I've done is I've got it up on 14, and I've got another rod with 17, and that helps me keep it to about that 8-foot depth, which is right about the outside edge of the grass right here. And I can control it with that little heavier line. I can, when I hit the grass like that, I can rip it and free, clear it. If you don't clear the crankbait, you just don't get many bites. I have not caught a single fish yet just reeling it in. Every one comes when you rip it out of the grass.
When Aaron Martins retook the lead, Keith Williams' incredible day was over with a third-place finish and $50,000. The Land O'Lakes Pro boated over 17 pounds, 4.5 pounds more than any other finalist. He did it early and not in the Decatur Flats where most of the other finalists were fishing. On his first 2 casts, Williams pulled in 2 keepers for just over 6 pounds. 14 minutes after landing in his spot, Williams owned a 12-pound limit and began culling. He found his success with a chartreuse-colored deep-diving crankbait hitting the 8 to 10-foot mark. Though his spot shut down in an hour, the run was enough to propel Williams to his highest finish as an FLW pro.
Ladies and gentlemen, our leader is Aaron Martins with a total weight over the 2 days of 25 pounds and 10 ounces. Only one angler can catch him. That's Timmy Horton, still with Fished Away. We will crown a winner of the 2003 Forest Wood Open when we return on FLW Outdoors.
Here with Aaron Martins, a very nervous leader here, sitting here with 25 pounds, 10 ounces. Timmy Horton, our leader from yesterday, 22.3. He's weighed in 3 so far. He could have 2 keepers left. You're leading by 3 pounds and 7 ounces. Of course, that would be all he would need to take over the lead. The last time we were at Wheeler Wake, you were here in a very similar condition, finished second to Larry Nixon.
Yeah, I got second place fishing spotted bass last year. This year, the spots weren't biting. I went for the largemouth and caught them pretty good. I just want to get this thing on. Timmy, bring him up.
Not quite yet. We're going to keep the suspense a little bit longer because we need to watch you in action out there on the lake. We got video of you right here on Wheeler Lake.
In the BF Goodrich boat, this is Aaron Martins from Passaic, California, about 2.5 pounds out of the lead and fishing for $200,000. How's it going this morning, Aaron?
It's a little slower this morning. I've been probably getting 3 or 4 bass by this time of morning. I got 1 so far and missed 1, so. The water's a lot higher. It's got a lot more, it's a lot dirtier, a lot more color in it. It usually does that when the water comes up. Seems like it'll pull for like 20, 30 minutes, sometimes maybe an hour. And those are the times I gotta be in my best spots. I usually try to be on that, my little key areas when that happens.
This seems a lot different from Passaic, California, is it?
It is, but I can catch them doing the same kind of techniques, which is kind of nice. It's a lot different, but the same techniques work really well here, so I can catch them good. It's just a matter of finding them.
Final thing, can you make up 2.5 pounds?
Oh yeah, I mean, anybody can. Like I said, it can happen real quick. I go back here and get three pounders. And I've got some 4-pounders here in practice, and it's all possible. Yeah, very easy. But I gotta do it.
All right, it worked real good for you today. It's got you in the lead. We'll hold on right now, and Carlton Wing is with a very nervous Timmy Horton.
That's right. Tim Horton is with me. He took off in boat number 1 today. That's special. Anytime you can take off in boat number 1 as the tournament leader.
Hey, you bet, Carlton. Look at these guys here. This is the best fishermen in the world, and this has been a great week for me. That ovation I had earlier, that was worth more than any money could be. And what a week I've had to be here and do this in front of my home crowd. And Aaron Martins is one of my heroes anyway, so this is pretty exciting.
This is your home waterway. You fished this area quite a bit. What part did local knowledge play in your success this week?
Well, I have a lot of confidence in the flats up there, and I think, pretty much just eliminating everything else helped. But probably it hurt me a little bit today. Kevin was picking on me a while ago, talking about how much I was running around out there today, and it may end up hurting me here. We'll see.
A lot of times local knowledge can help and hurt. Let's take a look at video of you out on the water today and talk to us a little bit now that the tournament's over. What were you doing so successfully all week long?
This was a mussel shell bed here, and where I pulled up and caught that 15 pounds right off this morning. And the first 2 fish I stuck on this place were really good fish, and I lost both of them. And my line broke on one of them. It must have got down into mussel shells, and that fish really loaded up and then broke, and oh my goodness, that one's going to haunt me, I think.
I see you're using a jig.
Yeah, that's a new jig called a Booyah jig. It's new on the market, and they were really hitting it. This water got pretty stained up here. It was kind of a lot of wind was coming over that mussel shell bed, and it got a little dirty. But that was first thing this morning, and after that, it really slowed down for me.
What features does the Booyah jig have that made you want to use it today on championship day?
Well, it's the skirt is fortified with yum. It's an attractant, and the fish, when they grab it, just really hold on to it really well.
Your family's here. You have lots of supporters out in the audience. Any message for them today?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody. This is awesome. Yeah, I can't explain how much I appreciate the ovation I got. It was awesome.
Timmy Horton has done well and has done very well in front of his local fans. You ready to find out who the champion is of the Forest Wood Open? Okay, let's set the stage. Tim Horton trails our leader, Aaron Martin, by 3 pounds and 7 ounces. That's what it will take to be able to overcome Aaron Martin's lead. If Timmy is unable to do so, Aaron Martin's is our champion. Now, Tim has weighed in 3 fish so far. Could bring up 2 more fish and take the lead and win the championship, or hand that championship to Aaron Martin's.
Reckon he's got any big ones in there?
We're going to find out. Okay, Aaron, he's got a bird's eye view of the scales right here.
Set your bag right here, Aaron. Don't look in there too close, Aaron. This is a very nervous time. Here is fish number 1. Hold on right there. 1.5 pounds, 1 pound 8 ounces. Here is fish number 2. We're going to have 2 fish here. He needs 3 pounds, 7 ounces. He has 2 fish that weigh 2 pounds, 12 ounces. Aaron Martins is their champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, your newest champion of the Forest Wood Open, and at Lake Wheeler, here is Aaron Martins. Finished 2nd last year. You brought home the big money this year.
I've been so close, and I've been to this point quite a few times in the last 5 years back here, and you get to the point where you think it's never going to happen, and you get 2nd and 3rd, and it's just like, it finally happens, and it's unbelievable. I mean, things went perfect, and I can't explain it. It's awesome.
We've got a perfect addition to your bank account coming this way. Now, folks, Aaron is getting ready to be a father for the first time. He and his wife, Leslie, expecting their first child in August, and we've got something to decorate the new baby room with. Here's a very special check presentation for Aaron Martins.
Hi, my name is Tammy Glover, and I'm here representing Walmart Stores Incorporated, and we'd like to congratulate you and present you with a check for $200,000.
And we've got some more hardware for you. I'll hold on to this check. I promise to give it back, but here comes something for your fireplace mantle.
Hello, Aaron. This is Richard Morrow. On behalf of the Kellogg Company, I want to congratulate you, present you with this trophy, and I'll tell you right now, it is very heavy, so hold on to it. Congratulations. You got it?
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion of the 2003 Forest Wood Open, $200,000 richer, Aaron Martins. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you have seen the best in professional fishing right here on FLW Outdoors. Aaron Martins is your newest champion. Be sure to tune in next week on FLW Outdoors. Larry Nixon will join us as we recap this thrilling Forest Wood Open. He'll join Aaron Martins, our Land O'Lakes Angler of the Year, Dan Moorhead, and we'll talk about this thrilling event. For the latest and greatest information on professional fishing, log on to FLWOutdoors.com. Thanks for watching this week on FLW Outdoors.